So today we're making this very cute little granny square. I call this granny square the Arctic starflower because this is inspired by this little wildflower that used to cover the forest floors in Finland in my childhood. In Finnish it's called metsätähti. But this square, I'm sure I'm not the first person ever to make this square because it does use some very basic crochet stitches. So it might have another name, but that is how I call it. So for your granny square, you are going to need, first of all, yarn. These are the colors that I picked because I wanted to make that Arctic starflower, but you could really pick any colors that you wanted to for your granny square. The yarn that I'm using today is this rainbow cotton 8/8 from Hobby, and it says here that it is a number 3 lightweight yarn. So this is like a DK weight yarn, a very good yarn to begin with if you're new to crochet. DK weight or even worsted weight yarn also works really nicely for granny squares. So those are really nice yarns to start with. Your yarn is also going to tell you what size of a hook you need. So check the packaging of your yarn to make sure that you get the right sized crochet hook. So other than the yarn, of course, you'll need the crochet hook. You're also going to need a yarn needle and a pair of scissors to make the granny square. And we are going to start our granny square from this middle center part. And this part consists of chain stitches and single crochets. So I'm going to show you how to make those very basic crochet stitches. So go ahead and grab your first color. In my case, it's going to be this light brown. And I'm going to start by making a slip knot. So the way I do that is I wrap the yarn around my finger like that, and I'll take the loop off my finger. And then I'm gonna go and pull this yarn and make a little loop with it and pull it through that other loop. And here is my slip knot. I'm gonna put it on my hook and pull it. You can pull it tight, but don't make it too tight, okay? You do want this loop to move on your hook because otherwise, if it's too tight, it's going to be hard to pull your stitches through. And then we're going to go ahead and start chaining, and we are going to chain 4. So the way we chain is we bring the hook behind the yarn like that to do a yarn over. This is called a yarn over, and we pull it through that loop. And now we have chained 1. We're going to chain another one. So yarn over, and we pull through. Yarn over, and we pull through. And yarn over, and we pull through. So now I have chained 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I'm going to make a little circle with these stitches. And the way I do that is I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook into this very first stitch here. Like that. And I'm going to grab that yarn and I'm going to pull it through that loop. And I'm going to pull it through this loop. And now, believe it or not, this is a little circle. I'm going to show you where the center part is. Just going to pull it apart just a little bit. There it is. Okay, so we're going to be inserting our hook into the center of this little loop, and the center part is, let me take that yarn needle and show you. So the center part is right here. It's a little confusing because when you pull it apart, you're going to see this opening here. That's not where we're going to be inserting the crochet hook. It's under that, so that you have kind of like 2 loops of yarn above it. So right here is the center, this opening here. It's going to get more obvious once we've made a couple of single crochets into that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go work 8 single crochets around our ring, and I'm going to start by chaining 1. And this chain 1 now is that this is going to count as my first single crochet. So I need 8 in total, and this chain 1 counts as the first one. So now I'm going to go ahead and make my first actual single crochet. I'm not going to insert the hook in here, but instead here. I'm going to show you again, because it does get tricky to see that. So see these 2 yarns here? I'm going to insert the hook right here. And I'm going to go ahead and grab that yarn and pull it through the same opening. And now I have 2 loops on my hook, and I'm going to go ahead and do yarn over and pull it through both of those stitches. That is a single crochet stitch. And now we can already see a lot better where the center of our ring is. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make 6 more single crochets into that same space, so that I have 8 in total, including that first chain 1. So I have 3, 4, and as I go, I'm holding this yarn end together with this ring so that it gets worked inside that ring. And it's just one less thing that I have to weave in at the end. That's 5. And 6. Seven. And 8. And once I have 8 single crochets, including that first chain 1, that counts as one of my single crochets for this, I'm going to go ahead and join this circle. And the way I do that is I'm going to insert my hook into this very first stitch here, kind of like on the outside of my circle. If you look at the outside of your circle, you're going to see these stitches. And I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook right here into this very first one. And I'll grab that yarn, I pull it through, and I pull it through the loop on my hook. And now my circle is all joined. Before I move on though, I'm going to go ahead and count to make sure that I have the right amount of stitches. So I can count them here on the outside. You can also count them here on the inside, but that's a little trickier. So I'm going to show you an easy way to count them here on the outside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oops, that got a little blurry there. And the number 8 is the one where we just inserted the hook. So I have 8 stitches. And I'm going to go ahead and chain 1. And then I can cut my yarn. And just pull that yarn through and fast enough. And here is the center of my little flower. Now on this video I'm going to show you how you can weave in your ends as you go. This is the way I do it. Definitely not the only way, but I like this way, so I'm just going to show you in case you like this too. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my work around. This is the back side. You can tell this is the back side because the yarn end is here, the first yarn end, and this is the new one. And I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook into this loop right next to this yarn end. So if you see here, there are kind of 2 loops to each stitch. This is the back loop because it's on the back side, and this is the front loop, it's on the front side. So I insert it through the back loop, and I'll just bring that yarn through like that. Then I go to the next stitch and I do the same thing. And I keep going like that. I pull my work here because I don't want this yarn to get too tight. Because if this gets too tight, it's sort of gonna end up bunching up my work. So I just keep pulling the work apart. You can pull it pretty hard and it's gonna be okay. And the last stitch here is going to be a little bit tight because this is where we joined our circle. But it's okay, it's going to loosen up once we start adding to it. Here we go. So I weaved my yarn in this way, and now as I start my second round, I'm going to hold this yarn end as I go, and it gets worked in this direction as well. So it gets weaved in two different directions, which makes it nice and secure. So next we're going to go ahead and take our second color. So for me it's this white, and we're going to make our petals. Now here you can see the petals. We have 8 petals total in the flower, and these consist of these cluster treble crochets. So these are essentially treble crochets that are kind of brought together at the end, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to start by making another slip knot. So again, wrap the yarn around your finger, take that loop off, and then just pull another little loop through it. Put it on the hook, and again, tight but not too tight. And now technically I could attach this to any of these stitches, but since I want to keep weaving in this yarn end here, I'm gonna go ahead and attach this to the very same stitch where that yarn end is currently. So it's gonna go through here, through both of those loops. Bring the yarn through, and also bring it through the loop on my hook. And here I like to go set my work on the table and hold this little knot here with my finger and pull the yarn end. And that's gonna make this knot nice and tight. So I'm going to start here by chaining 2. 1 and 2. And next I am going to go ahead and yarn over twice. 1 and 2. And then I'm going to insert this hook into this very same stitch where I attached the yarn before. So I'm going to go into that same stitch, grab the yarn, bring it through. I have 4 loops on my hook now. I'm going to go yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now I stop here. If I was making just a regular treble crochet here, I would yarn over one more time and pull through both of these. But since I'm making those clusters, I'm going to leave those 2 loops here, and I'm just going to bring it together at the end. So another one, yarn over twice, insert the hook into the same stitch, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So now I have 1, 2, 3 stitches. One of these is the initial chain 2, which is going to count as one of these stitches here. And I have 3 loops on my hook. And now I'm going to go ahead, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And here's my first petal. After the petal, I'm going to go and chain 2. 1 and 2. And then I'm going to make my next petal. Yarn over twice, insert into the next stitch, grab the yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. 2 loops on my hook. I stop here. Yarn over twice, grab the yarn, yarn over, pull through 2. See the yarn split there a little bit. It sometimes happens with cotton yarn. It's okay. And yarn over, pull through 2. 2 stitches here. 1 more. Yarn over twice, insert into the same stitch, bring that yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So now I have 1, 2, 3 stitches here, and I have 4 loops on my hook. Now if you remember before we had 3 loops here when we pulled through all of them, and that was because we had that initial chain 2 here. But now for the rest of these petals, you're always going to have 3 stitches and 4 loops here on your hook. So I'm going to go ahead, yarn over one more time, and pull through all 4. And I'm going to chain 2. And I like to stop here, and I'm going to take care of this yarn end here. Exactly the same way I did before. So turn my work around and just go into these back loops here. Oops. And just pull that yarn through. Now I can see 2 yarns here because I have the back loop and then I have that light brown yarn that I already weaved in earlier here. Exactly the same thing. I just pull it through these loops. If this feels like too much to you, like if you're very new to crochet and it feels like too confusing to do this, you can definitely leave your ends and just weave them in at the end. That works totally fine too. But I like this method so much that I wanted to show you. Okay. So now as I go, I'm just going to be holding both of these yarn ends here, and they get weaved in to this direction as well. So I'm going to put my hook back into my work. And by the way, when you put your hook back, make sure that the yarn sort of flows here in the front when you do that, to make sure that your hook is inserted the right way. So I'm going to make another petal. I'm going to yarn over twice. I'm going to go into the next stitch, bring that yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and another one, yarn over twice, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And one more, yarn over twice, insert into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now I have 1, 2, 3 stitches and 4 loops on my hook, and I'm going to yarn over one more time and pull through all 3, and then I'm going to chain 2. So go ahead and work around the center of your flower until you have 8 petals, and I'm going to meet you right here. If you need to go back and look how to make the petal, just rewind a little bit and see how we made this one and this one. We're gonna make the rest of them exactly the same way and as these 2 petals. Hi, so just a quick thing. I actually noticed after I paused that video that I had made a mistake here in the previous one. And first I thought I will just refilm this, but I think this is a really good learning here, so I wanted to show you what went wrong. So with this last petal, I wasn't grabbing both of those stitches or both of those loops off the stitch. So this little yarn, or this loop that you can see here, this is a front loop that got left out of here. So I was only grabbing the back loop when I was making those stitches. As you can see, that should not be there. So what I can do, I'll just take off the hook and just pull these stitches out, put my hook back in, and do that again. And now I'll be sure to insert the hook right here. Let me show you once I finish the stitch. It's going to be more obvious. Here we go. So now you can no longer see that weird sort of horizontal yarn there, because now it's inside this stitch. So just wanted to show you that in case anything like that happens to you, it's very easy to fix. So work around your center, and I'll meet you back here. So here we are. I have finished my 8 petals. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now I'm gonna go ahead and close this flower. So I am going to insert my hook not into a stitch this time, okay? I'm gonna go into this gap between petal number 1 and petal number 2. So into this gap, and just pull that yarn through and pull it through the loop on your hook like that. Then I'm going to chain 1 and cut my yarn. Just pull that yarn through and fasten off. So here is our little flower, and next we are going to add the square around it. So go ahead and grab your third color. In my case it's this blue, and we are going to start the square from one of these corners, and the square around the flower consists of double crochets and half double crochets. Again, very basic crochet stitches, and you're going to learn how to do those now if you don't already know. So we're going to take our yarn one more time, slip knot, actually before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this yarn end here the same way I did before. So just go here through the back loops and pull that yarn through. And I usually like to stop in one of these gaps between two petals, because then it's going to be easy to start holding the yarn together with the work, so that it gets worked into this direction as well. So there we go, and here is my slip knot already. So I'm just going to go ahead, put it on the hook. And again, you could technically start anywhere in any of these gaps, but I'm gonna start in this one because this is where that yarn end is. So same thing as before. We attach the yarn. I like to tighten it here. And now I'm going to start the corner, and I'm gonna start by chaining 2. So 1 and 2, and now I'm gonna hold this yarn here together with my work as I go, and I'm going to work my first actual double crochet. So I'm gonna yarn over once, insert my hook into the same space, grab that yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm gonna make another one. Yarn over, insert in the same space, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now I have 3 stitches here, 1, 2, 3. The initial chain 2 and then 2 double crochets, and this initial chain 2 is going to count as a double crochet for this granny square. So I have 3 double crochets here, and then I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and now I'm going to go back into this very same space and I'm going to make another 3 double crochets. So yarn over, insert the hook, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So there is my double crochet. Another one, yarn over, insert the hook, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm going to make one more. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And now this here is my first corner. So I have 3 double crochets, including that initial chain 2. I have a chain 2 here, and I have another 3 double crochets. In the next space, I'm going to make a side of the granny square. And here I need to work 3 half double crochets. So the way I do that, I start exactly the same way as a double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook, bring that yarn through. Then I'm going to go yarn over, and I'm going to pull through all 3 loops on my hook. That's a half double crochet. Let's make another one. Yarn over, insert the hook, bring the yarn through, 3 loops on my hook. I go yarn over and pull through all 3. That's all it is, half double crochet. And let's make another one. Yarn over, insert the hook, bring that yarn through, yarn over, and pull through all 3. So that is my side. Now I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to take care of this yarn end here. I like to stop early on because otherwise I easily forget, which also is not a big deal. But since I like weaving in these ends as I go, I do the exact same thing I did before. So I'm just going to go through these back loops here to weave in my yarn. And I'm gonna call that good. And turn my work back around. So now as I work around my flower, once I get here, I'm just gonna start holding this yarn together with my work so that it gets worked into this direction as well. All right, so next I'm going to make my next corner into this next space here. So 3 double crochets, double crochet is yarn over, insert the hook, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So yarn over, insert the hook, bring that yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. I have 3 double crochets, and I'm going to chain 2 after that to create my corner. And I'm gonna go ahead and make 3 more double crochets into the same space. So yarn over, insert the hook and bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. yarn over, insert the hook, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert the hook, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And here is my corner. And in the next space, I'm going to create 3 half double crochets to create my side. So yarn over, insert the hook, bring that yarn through, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, insert the hook, bring the yarn through, yarn over, and pull through 3, yarn over, insert the hook, bring the yarn through, and yarn over and pull through 3. And that is my side. So now for the granny square, we're going to need 1 more corner, 1 more side, 1 more corner, and 1 more side. So go ahead and finish that first round of the square. If you need to go back and see how to make the corners and the sides, you can go back here, because we are going to create these 2 remaining corners and sides exactly the same way we did here. So go ahead and rewind if you want to watch that again. So here we are. I have worked all around my flower. I've done my last side here, and now I want to connect this square. And the way I do that, I'm going to find the very first stitch on the outside of my work. So it's this stitch right here. So the first one is that's kind of on the outside. And I'm gonna insert my hook in there, pull that yarn through, and pull it through. And now this is already a granny square, and this could be the final square. But for mine, I'm going to add 1 more round around it to make the square a little bit bigger. So I need another round of stitches around the square. And the first thing I have to do is I have to work my way to this corner here. And the way I do that is I'm going to make slip stitches to get there. So I'm going to find the next stitch here on the outside of my work, insert my hook there, bring that yarn through, and bring it through. And then I'm going to go into the space here. Same thing, insert the hook, bring the yarn through, and bring it through that loop. And now I'm in that corner. And now I'm going to create the corner exactly the same way we created corners in the previous round. So I'm going to chain 2, because this is the very first corner. And I'm going to make 2 double crochets here. So double crochet is yarn over, insert the hook, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And I have 3 double crochets here, and this first chain 2 is going to count as a double crochet, so 3 in total. I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and I'm going to go yarn over, insert in the same space, bring that yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. 2 more. Yarn over, insert the hook, bring that yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, insert the hook, bring that yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And here is my corner. 3 double crochets, including that first chain 2 here, and 3 more double crochets. And now, if you remember the previous round, we had 1 gap here in each side, and we made 3 half double crochets into that space. And that was because we needed to create this square shape. But now, since we already have a square, we are going to go ahead and make double crochets on the sides as well instead of half double crochets. So now on this round we have 2 spaces here. So I'm just going to go ahead and create 3 double crochets into each one of these spaces. So double crochet is yarn over, insert the hook, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. There are my 3 double crochets. Same thing here, this other space on the side. 3 double crochets into this space as well. And double crochet is yarn over, insert the hook, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And there is my first side. And now I'm back in the corner, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing I did in the previous round. So 3 double crochets, then I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and 3 double crochets. So here we are, that's my second corner. So now you can go ahead and work around your granny square, making always 3 half double crochets into each one of these spaces and the sides. So each one of these spaces, 1 and 2, and then make your corners 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. So work around your square and I will meet you right here. So now I have completed my last round for this granny square. So I have worked my side here, all the stitches, and I'm gonna go ahead and join this round. So again, I'm going to this very first stitch here on the outside of my work. And I'm gonna pull that yarn through, and I'm gonna pull it through the loop on my hook, and I'm gonna chain 1, and then I can cut my yarn. Just pull it through and fast enough. And here is my square. Now the only thing I have left is weaving in my ends, but lucky for me I have already taken care of most of these as I went, so I only need to weave in this initial yarn here and this last yarn here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and cut the rest of these yarns so they don't confuse me here. Just tiny yarn ends. Now here I need to be careful that I don't accidentally cut this one. This is my initial yarn end, and this is the one that I've already worked to 2 different directions. And with this very first one, I already was holding this yarn together with that ring when I worked around it. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and weave it into the opposite direction. So since the yarn comes sort of out of here, I'm just gonna go ahead and skip this first stitch where it comes from, so that I don't accidentally pull out the whole yarn. Just go through a couple of those stitches. This yarn end is so short that I can't just get it into the needle easily, so if that happens, I just usually pull the needle through the stitches and then put the yarn in like that. A couple of more stitches here. It's pretty tight. You may want to check, especially if your stitches are very tight, check the right side of your work just to make sure that your needle doesn't show through. Because if your needle shows through, that means that your yarn that you're trying to weave in here is also going to make sort of random appearances on the other side, on the right side of the work. And here we go. Okay, that's good enough. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this yarn. And now I only have this last yarn end here. This is actually longer, so I just put it on the needle like that. Go on the wrong side or on the back side. And just weave this yarn in. So for me, I like to go to 2 different directions to make it more secure. So go here, and here I want to pull my work again. See how it bunches up? Just pull it. So I went this way, so now I'm just gonna anchor this yarn here by going through one of these stitches or these loops, and then just go back. I don't think there is a right or wrong for this. This is how I do it. If you want to do it a different way, that is totally okay. You do you. I'm just showing you how I do it in case this helps you. And just pull my work again. Make sure it's not bunched up. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this last yarn end. So here is my granny square. All the ends taken care of and all ready. I would love to hear what you thought about this tutorial, so please leave a comment in the comment section, and also I would love to hear what kind of flower you ended up making with this pattern. See you next time.